We should be live. So how's it going, everybody? My name is FakeThriller. I'm joined by InTheWorks and Snoop603, and this is going to be the GameSpeak episode 2, version 3, I think. And Epwna will be joining us momentarily. She's just running late from an epic women's volleyball session, I think, or women's basketball or something silly like that.
Isn't she the coach?
Yeah. I think. I don't know. Yeah, no, she coaches 7th graders because I said we should have a scrimmage. And we'd probably get owned. But anyway, so I think the best way to start off the conversation is just what has everyone been playing this past week? Anything new?
As for myself, like nothing. This has been a bad week, and I know I touched upon it lightly in a recent video. That's why you guys won't see much from me this week. I've got my mom and my grandma coming up to visit from Florida to finally see my son. So they're coming in on Friday. My guest bedroom has been a mess. It's one of the rooms I haven't cleaned up or repainted or done anything to. So I'm trying to. That's where all my time's been spent. I plugged in BF3 for like 5 minutes earlier, and that was it. That's all I've played, like anything in the past week.
I'm kind of rage quit it.
No, actually, it's really funny. I was trying to record Weapon Request live for Thursday's episode, and I got into a rush game, and I went like 5-0. I was like, that's boring. So I was like, oh, I'll try squad deathmatch, and I got into it. I saw a friend another squad. I was like, oh, quick, switch squads, and my PS3 was like, lol, no, and it froze. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm not playing.
Now, Jake, I've only played on PC occasionally, but does the PC version have a lot of issues with crashing, or is it sort of like system specific? Because I know people on Xbox and PS3 have it crash all the time.
I think it depends, because honestly, like when the game was out in the beginnings, I was having a lot of problems with it personally. Like I kept getting the disconnected from EA Online, because one of the things that's different from what you guys do is we don't have a main menu. Like, we play our games through the browser, basically, and a lot can go wrong in that scenario. So, I mean, I get kicked from games every once in a while. It'll be like you'll get kicked randomly. It'll say disconnected from EA Online. But for the most part, I don't really have a whole lot of problems.
I actually don't like the browser-based menu system. I feel like it makes, especially Battlefield 3, feel like really like clunky and unpolished. It's almost like because when you click to join a game, it sort of joins you in the game and it loads it up minimized, and then it sort of maximizes it when the level loads and everything. But I was playing some other games like Counter-Strike and Blacklight, Retribution, and those have the nice. They're a traditional game that you load up and then you're in the menu and then you're playing that game. Do you think like the Battlelog style browser launcher is going to be? Do you think it's better, or do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's better, but I don't mind it as much as I used to. I used to absolutely despise it for that same reason. Like, but now I kind of like it because in between games I can just fool around, look at my stats, and because I minimize the window, and it makes things a lot easier for that kind of thing. But I think if I had my choice, I'd go back to the old way.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would too, but I guess Medal of Honor is using the same Battlelog system, so they seem kind of committed to it.
I don't know. I don't think they're doing a beta for the Battlelog, are they?
I have no idea.
Because they did a beta for the BF3 Battlelog, if you guys remember.
Meaning what? No, I don't even remember that. Like, so did you always join the PC beta and the alpha through Battlelog?
Yeah.
Or?
Not the alpha. The beta was through Battlelog.
So what were they testing?
What were we testing in the alpha?
No. Like, what do they have a beta for Battlelog? Like, how does that?
Well, but I mean, that's a pretty big feature. You got to think about it like that. Like the fact that that's going to be what's launching your game. I mean, you want to make sure that it's like legit.
Right. I guess
it was horrible for Battlelog. It was just absolutely horrible. Like you couldn't join games with friends, and like the VoIP didn't work. So
yeah.
Because that's how we have to talk. If you want to use anything else, like if you don't want to use TeamSpeak, you have to use the Battlelog built-in voice chat.
Yeah, I've never done that. I think me and Snoop have been in the same PC game for about like 8 minutes one time.
I think that's giving it a little too much credit.
And then you're like, I can't do this.
No.
Why don't you guys just use a controller?
I tried, and oh, hang on. Is that Jess trying to join in? Yep. Go ahead and add her to the call, Chris.
Okay. Just so anybody watching knows, the faces and everything are going to get a little screwed up while I rearrange it for Epwna as she joins. It's very technical. I don't want you to concern yourselves with it, but
To answer the question regarding the controller, we had touched upon it last week. The only downside with that is, I struggle with trying to sprint because of the way the mapping works.
Oh yeah, I remember you did say that.
Like I said, on PS3, you just click it once and then you can hold forward. You don't actually keep it depressed. On PC, you still have to. Once my fun money account kind of stabilizes itself, which it should now that fishing season is pretty much over, I am going to try out that Shark Frag FX controller because I think that'll allow me to play on PC. And at this point, I have almost like no interest in playing BF3 anymore. I'm really hoping the Medal of Honor is a good game and that it can carry me to Battlefield 4. Otherwise, I don't know, I might just say screw it and try and force myself to get used to using the keyboard to get back into BF3 because I need something. I need a change. Right now, the game's just not cutting it for me anymore.
Yeah. That's why I've been playing Bad Company too.
Do I still have that? I do. I might have to go back to that. I don't know.
It's a different animal, that's for sure.
It is. It was really difficult for me to get used to, and the downside to it was, and I think we touched on this last week too, because we got into it so late, we didn't have like half the weapons unlocked. So everyone was like wrecking us with all these great weapons, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. This gun just sucks.
Jess, I don't know if you can hear us. Can you hear us fine?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I didn't know if you knew that we were live or not, so I didn't want you to do anything on camera that you might regret.
Take off her shirt?
Yeah. It looked like for a second she was about to, so I switched the screen.
That's what I thought she was going to do, because she's like...
Yeah, I didn't know if it was going to be like a
I get a little crazy after 9 p.m.
All right, so we are live, just so you know. And
Okay. Hi, everyone.
It looks like the stream, like, crashed.
What? Why? Because it says Shustybang?
Oh, it's back. That's fine.
Yeah. I changed scenes in. Don't worry, I got this under
Weird.
control.
It's like Jake and I are sharing the screen. Hey, buddy, lean in.
I don't know which way to go, because it's like...
It's gone now, okay?
Yeah, everyone's gone.
I told you not to concern yourself. All right. Let me do
Nope,
this.
there I am.
Yeah. I can't really do this and talk at the same time, so if you guys...
We can continue the conversation.
Yeah,
What were
thank
we
you.
talking about?
You're talking
we're
about
gonna leave it off.
the Frag FX controller and getting through...
Oh, no, we were talking about Bad Company. That's right.
Oh,
Bad
right.
Excellent.
Go ahead, take off, because I really don't know what to say about the game other than I think I'm going to have to start playing it if Medal of Honor is a letdown.
I
You're talking
mean,
about Bad Company 2?
Yes.
Classic. Addicting.
I've been playing Vietnam, because I didn't really play a whole lot of it when it came out. I played Bad Company, but I didn't really put a lot of time into Vietnam. There's not a lot to Vietnam, but it's a lot more, like, bare bones, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Because you don't get sights, I mean, besides, like, on your snipers.
Now, what do you think between Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3 with the class loadouts? Like, which one do you like better? Because the Assault has ammo in Bad Company, and the support...
Oh, it's way better in Bad Company, but then again, it's not the same, because Battlefield 2, it was the way it is now.
Oh,
like
really?
Assault had health.
So Battlefield 3 is the odd duck out.
I think that's the way it is.
I don't know. Last time I remember...
I think in Battlefield 2 it was the same way Battlefield 3 is. I'm not sure. It's been so long since I played the game.
Battlefield 2 had more classes, I think, that like 6. They had the Spec Ops class or something. If I remember correctly.
It was the blend between the engineer and the assault class, or whatever. And then there was like, wasn't there 2 snipers? Something like one had like the semi-auto type thing. Oh.
Yeah, it was something like that. There was at least like 5 or 6 classes instead of.
Why I like Battlefield 2 a little bit better, honestly, is the fact that they had Commander. I was shocked when I found out that Battlefield 3 wasn't going to have it.
I never really took advantage of that, and when I did, I feel like I didn't know what I was doing, so I didn't really miss it that much. But I know a lot of people feel the same way.
I think
what
a
is
lot
this
of people...
commander you speak of?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh,
like
you
yeah,
console peasants.
It's like a game within the game. Like one person on your team is the commander, and he essentially sits there and like.
It's like RTS almost.
He can control before, like he tell you where to go, and like he marks targets and like gives you like instructions.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of cool though, because then you can, pull your team together a little bit.
It was cool if you had a competent one. If you had one that was just like there to be the commander, it was kind of like.
Now, which game had it where the ranking system was actually like a score per minute ranking system or something like that? Was that one of the Battlefield games where you couldn't be like they would take your level based on like what you actively did in every single game, and if you went in and you didn't get enough kills and you didn't do enough objectives and stuff like that, your score per minute would go down and then your rank would go down? Is that a Battlefield game, or am I making this up?
I don't know.
Not that I've experienced. But
Damn it.
I think you're making shit up, man.
I'm such an idiot. I heard about it somewhere. I just don't know what it is. I thought it was Battlefield 2, but I don't know. I'll figure it out.
You can get it. It's only like $10 right now.
Oh yeah? On Steam?
No, on Origin, I think.
Oh.
I think it's 20 on Steam.
Wish it were on Steam.
It's on Steam, I think.
I bought that BF2 pack a while back. I just never really played it.
Yeah, I have 2142 installed right now. I've been wanting to play that.
I feel like I played that a few months ago, and there was still like, a handful of servers going.
Yeah, they're really chaotic. I played one, like all of them seem to be like 64-man, just like absolute chaos.
Titan mode though, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
I really miss that.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Chris and John are like, oh.
Yeah, I'm
You basically have to destroy something. This giant object.
It was awesome. Didn't you have to like destroy like the shield generator and then you had to destroy the different areas? Oh, that was so fun.
In a Battlefield game?
Yeah.
It was essentially like Rush, kind of, but it's like you got to defend areas, and I don't know. It was the Rush Conquest mix, kind of, to an extent.
Was it not popular or something, or?
No, it was very popular.
Because I know a lot of people complain that there's not enough game types in Battlefield 3. And
I'll just raise my hand on that one.
Power Ranger Cup.
Battlefield 3, I don't understand the game types. Like, they come up with the stupidest game types. Like, tank superiority. What? Honestly, I don't know where they thought they were going with that.
It sounds good on paper, I think.
Is it?
I thought it was, but
Well, they have in 1942. Don't they have like air superiority or something like that?
Well, yeah, that's a little different though.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, but maybe they thought it would translate. Maybe they can't do jets like air superiority in Battlefield 3.
The stupid part is like there's not enough tanks to go around. I think we talked about this last week. It becomes like a SOFLAM versus javelins versus spruts.
Yeah, there's not enough tanks in the console version, so I can only imagine what like a 32 player or above
well, it's the
server
same.
is like.
We get the same amount of tanks.
Oh, yeah.
Because vehicle numbers don't change. Unfortunately.
Oh. So what's the point?
Right? It almost seems like they all kind of got together and they're like, all right, brainstorming time, let's come up with a new game mode. And someone was like, how about we create a game mode with a bunch of tanks? And they're like, perfect, we'll just roll with that. And like there was no further brainstorming needed. They're like, that works. Just give it TDM style tickets and one flag point. Good? Everyone good? I like it.
Did you guys ever play Battle Tanks on Nintendo 64?
Oh, dude, that game is awesome.
That was like one of the best games ever.
What?
And it would have been like I like to think that that's maybe where they were going, because they used to play like Battle Tanks had like capture the flag mode and like VIP mode and stuff like that, and it was crazy intense fun. But I don't think the Battlefield 3 tank mechanics really work out as far as like it's like roll up and then take shots at people until you die. So
Yeah, I think I played it once for like 2 minutes, and I was like, "Oh, not for me."
yeah.
I'm
It's
out.
like impossible to like get anything worthy of even like posting in that game mode.
Yeah.
Like I've been trying for weeks on end, and I get frustrated because, like I said, like if you don't get a tank, there's nothing to do.
Well, and there's not much in the way of like actual strategy. There's little bits you can do, like make sure you pick the good, like a class with a javelin on it or something.
Well, what I've seen people, like the people who win in points wise, who lead the lobbies, don't get any kills. What they do is they put their SOFLAM down, and then they get out their freaking MAV and they fly, or they either have a SOFLAM or an MAV. You can't have both, obviously. And they'll just sit there behind the SOFLAM, or they'll sit on their MAV all match, and they'll end up with like 10,000 points.
And everyone else is gonna kill themselves because the beeping is nonstop in their ears. So,
All right.
okay, what were you gonna say,
I was
Sean?
going to say, well, this seems like a really good spot to transition to the topic, because we're sitting here, we're not really talking about Battlefield 3, we're talking about all these other past games. So I see Jess had a topic in our little comments page about the lifespan of Battlefield 3. Like, is Aftermath and Endgame going to make a difference? It seems like, for myself, I'm really up in the air, but definitely leaning towards I'm done with Battlefield 3. This game is worn out its welcome, in my opinion, and I'm tired of it. And I know, Chris, you yourself have, in your own words, said if I can put that disc away and never open it again, I will. So,
Well, and that's like I'm saying that in the moment kind of a thing. Like it would probably be fun to go back and play it later, but I don't get much fun out of playing it right now. It's frustrating. I get frustrated so quickly whenever I play now, and it ends up not being very fun.
no, I feel like the latest DLC, especially the patch, really killed my enthusiasm for the game. And I knew that, given the overall size of this DLC, the maps in it was not going to be beneficial to the console whatsoever. But man, I was just really surprised how much fun that latest patch took out of this game for me. I don't know what Jake, what do you guys think? How has the latest patch and DLC affected the staying power of Battlefield 3 for you? And what do you think the next two DLCs are going to do for you as far as your interest goes?
Well, personally, I haven't even played enough lately to even notice the patch changes. I know people have been like making comments about the stingers and whatnot, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm just getting into more things in real life, or if Armored Kill just isn't what I thought it was going to be. I mean, I've had a lot of fun playing it, but I don't know, man. And it would be interesting to see what the Aftermath. They're advertising a new game mode. Oh God, no! Get that out of here. They're advertising a game mode. It'll be interesting to see what that is. But I don't know. Like, I don't know what else they could add to kind of freshen it up.
Well, and the thing is
cool. We're playing in an earthquake environment. Like,
I got it too.
right, like how much
Oh my God, you guys are horrible.
they seem.
Well, that's what I was thinking of when you said you wanted to put the disc up and never play it again. The first thing that went to my mind as I looked over, I was like, I got something like that.
This is a $100 box of garbage that I played.
Yeah, that's the same one I have.
And I
Yeah.
packed it up. I was like, it's not even a fucking collector's edition. No one's gonna want this at any point. Like, I'd probably hold onto this for 100 years, and I'd be like, check out this collector's edition I got. And they'd be like, well, fuck off.
I knew if I put it in this, because you had to slide off the case, I knew if I did that, I would never get it out again. Because I'd be too lazy. And I haven't.
I played it for 10 minutes on one of the free weekends, and I had to stop in the middle of playing it. It's terrible.
It's an easy
beyond
game
bad.
to quit. Well, it was made by a broken company with a broken like game model.
Well,
so.
I don't even think Infinity Ward had much to do with it. I think it was mostly
Sledgehammer?
What's Sledgehammer? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, that's something that I never took into consideration as it was being developed, and that Chris mentioned, like, after we wrote it off, we were like sitting there shaking our heads, like, what happened? We actually used to enjoy this this franchise, and he was like, well, keep in mind that pretty much half of the development life cycle for this, more than half the company bailed. More than half the people that had been there from day one making the game are gone, and they brought in a bunch of people that had no fucking idea what they were doing to begin with, trying to pick up the pace with like no time left to make this game. It shows in that game. It's got issues galore. I don't know, man. Whatever. I'm not
a lot
going
of
to
it's super recycled, and we don't want to.
Yeah, I refuse to give them any of my money until the programmer in me refuses to condone that development cycle that they have.
What?
Well,
like
somebody was
copy-pasting?
saying that you can't rent servers for Black Ops 2, and I almost had a heart attack when I heard that.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I was planning on getting it for Xbox and PC, but I don't think it'll even be worth it if you can't. Because the thing that set Black Ops 2 apart was they had servers and mod tools and stuff like that.
Now, I've heard that Black Ops 2 is going to be offering up, and this might not even be confirmed, it was a rumor back in the day, that Black Ops 2 is going to have dedicated servers for consoles in the same fashion as Battlefield 3. Do you think the rent-a-server thing would work in the Call of Duty world, or do you think that's something that should never be repeated?
That should never be repeated.
Yeah, I agree. Not to lead you into the answer I want to hear, but
Yes.
Like the idea behind it was awesome. We were both just as excited when we heard about it. We're like, oh, okay, sweet. No more, dicking around trying to find an East Coast server or whatever. It's just not having to worry about balanced teams. We can control this. We can do normal rules, and it's always going to be on East Coast, so we don't have to worry about lagging out or any of that crap. It'd just be we make the rules. And it worked out for a little bit until everyone decided that they wanted to team up and just destroy us every time we played. So we're like, okay, screw it. We won't have our own server. We'll play on everyone else's server. But it's like every other server you look at is just got these bullshit rules, like no C4, no shotguns, no P90. If you get more than 5 grenade kills, you're kicked. If you go on more than a 10-man kill streak on the tank, you're banned. Like, what? I don't get it. What the hell, dude? Do you guys not want to play the game? Is that what we're just gonna make up fucking rules as we go along here?
They want you to play with M16.
Right. Yeah, everyone please play M16 and the M1911. If you don't use anything else,
The funny
GTFO.
thing about that is I actually I have an alternate account. I think we talked about this last week too, but I was playing on it a little bit this morning, and like M16 is not very good. I realized. I don't know if it's that I've used it so like few that I don't really know like how it feels anymore. I'm not used to it, but I used it and it actually wasn't that good. So
I've never really liked it. It's never held a spot in my lineup as like a really try-hard weapon. It was, and maybe that's because it always had the stigma of being overpowered and stuff like that, but I never liked it to begin with. But that's just me.
I liked it. It just seemed like easy mode. I still don't think it was ever overpowered. It was just such a well-rounded gun that it never excelled at any point, but it was serviceable at all points. Like, wasn't great in close quarters, but you could certainly, it would hold its own. And same with medium range, same with long range. You could pick 5 or 6 guns that will outdo it in any of those things, and even outdo it in 2 of those 3 ranges. But it was well-rounded. But I don't get why people thought that meant overpowered. We can't get back into that. I'll never shut up.
Agree. We're going to keep talking
But
for
now you
hours
have the
about it.
M416.
Dude, the M416 is easy mode. Oh my god, I love that gun. I won't use it though because of that same fact. Like, I don't even have a choice anyway. I only have enough time during the week to play with the weapon we need the weapon review for. That's it. But I won't go back to it because that gun is friggin' easy mode. Why on earth they felt that thing needed a buff, I will never understand. But there I go again.
So not to really get back on the Call of Duty train or anything like that. What would Black Ops 2 have to come out with to prove that to earn your money?
A new engine.
All right, so you're not going to be buying Black Ops 2 then.
Well, then we'll get a new engine with the next one, I'm guessing, right?
Just something that isn't copy pasted. I mean, I shouldn't even talk because I played 10 minutes of Modern Warfare 3. That's pretty much my Call of Duty experience. So I'm just gonna
It's pretty clear though, between Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, that there was a. I don't know if it's as simple as copy paste because I don't know how to make a video game, but I'm pretty sure a lot of the things, even from Call of Duty 4, have been reused in every Infinity Ward game.
The white box then?
The white box truck. It says something on the side, but it's been in every Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4, or every Infinity Ward Call of Duty. And I just don't understand why they can't even change the damn color on the truck. Like, if they just made it...
They got to keep their what did they call it? Their storyline, their fiction throughout each game. That's what David Vonderhaar said about why they're bringing the RC car back.
Oh, like it couldn't just go away or something?
I think we have the possibility, because if you could have like the RC car, that little hunter-killer drone thing, and like UAVs... That would be, and they recycle. That could be so annoying. Like, I don't know if they even thought about that, but it only takes 3 kills to get those. Well, so it's like, essentially, you could have like stacking. You could stack the 3 most annoying things you could possibly have in the game over and over and over and over.
And since you can, that means somebody will, which is going to make the game absolutely infuriating. Like,
yeah, I mean,
like, you can't have any confidence in the community of Call of Duty or any game. I mean, even Battlefield has proven themselves irresponsible when it comes to their own rules or doing what they want over the internet. And that's usually what breaks Call of Duty games is the community doing stuff that not everybody loves.
Well, I don't think it's just Call of Duty. I mean, look at Battlefield and the USAS and
the MAV and stuff and mortars.
Well, here's the even better example: is M26 Mass.
Right.
Jesus, that was horrible.
Right.
That was worse than the USAS.
A known broken, glitched weapon that people are using.
Here's the funny part behind that is, remember the AUG smoke thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Think about how that wasn't really a problem, and how like passively yet quickly they fixed that, and it was essentially the same thing, right? I mean, it was an underslung weapon doing the damage of the bullets, and they fixed that instantly. Like, it was like out for like 2 weeks, and it was fixed in like a server-side patch. Why couldn't they do that with the 1026?
They didn't want us to boycott again. I don't even know what that was all about. Like, I didn't do any boycotting, but wasn't there like with the M26? Didn't everyone boycott or say they were going to boycott? I don't know.
To elaborate on Epwna's point as far as what Black Ops needs for me to buy it, if it's not a new engine, you would think that at least be able to polish the game since they're using the same engine over and over again. And it feels like the game has gone down in quality from like COD 4 to MW2. There was a decent increase in quality. Not much, but it looked at least a little bit better. And then from MW to MW3, it seemed like they took a huge step back. Like, everything about the game felt chintzier, and it sounded like crap, played like crap. Like, I would like to see some improvement, or at least the same level of quality throughout. Like, that's my biggest issue. I'm really big on games that have betas, regardless of their time frames, whether it's 2 months ahead of time and it's up for a month, or if it's just for a week, 2 weeks before the video starts. A beta is a beta to me, and that says that they care about the quality. You know, like, yes, ideally we would love to have a longer beta and have it as early as possible, but in the end, to me, it shows that, okay, listen, we know that there's issues. We need your help ironing them out. So here's the beta. Play it. I mean, it's only one map and stuff, but hopefully we can get a lot of these issues figured out, and they might not have it ready for the day of release and not like a release patch, but it could be 2 weeks earlier or even 2 months earlier. So the fact that Call of Duty refuses to go with the beta so they can hype up their game to get more sales, that bothers me. It always had bothered me in the past, but now it's to the point where, like, you know what, I'm done.
They used to do betas, because if you recall, Black Ops had a beta, and so did World at War.
They weren't public, though, right?
Yeah. Well, the World at War one definitely was public.
I was saying, I don't think Black Ops was, though.
The Black Ops one, I had to do some maneuvering to get into that, but I played it.
Nice.
It was kind of like you were getting banned if you weren't technically invited, but everybody and their mom was playing in it, so it's like...
I think I remember that.
I mean, I still have footage on my old computer of Black Ops 2 beta stuff, and I mean, they changed a lot, in that from the beta into the actual game.
Well, even Battlefield 3 had major issues in the beta, and I know they always say that the beta.
You mean the demo?
The demo beta for consoles takes forever, and it has to be such an older build because they need to go through the Microsoft and Sony approval process to be allowed to like put stuff out on their consoles. But they had like the high weapon damage glitch, like where if the character you were shooting was running, it would do more damage and stuff like that. So that was all fixed. So I guess you could say theoretically that was caught by the beta. But.
Well, they claim they already knew about that when they released the beta. I was like, oh, great.
Oh.
And they told everyone. They told everyone that if you use the sniper rifle, you're going to get one-hit kills. And I'm like, great, thanks, guys. So you see, like, if you go back and look at old Battlefield 3 videos for beta, you'll see, like, all these montages, and I just laugh. It's just like these dudes hitting these insane, like, M40 shots from across the map.
I remember sniping in the beta. It made you feel good.
Yeah, it did.
It wasn't real, though. And now it's sad.
Yeah, I can't snipe to save my life.
Me either. I skipped the whole thing.
So, Sean, you
Let's
want a
throw
beta?
papers.
You want a beta for...
I want a beta. I want to see that. I want them to prove to me that they're going beyond just trying to make a buck. Like, I totally get that it's a business, and that's what it is. A lot of people do forget that, and it's a point I will bring up every single time when it comes to things like this. It's a business. They're in this to make money. They're not in this to just please the fans. But I still feel that it's kind of a unique business where there has to be a little give and take. So, with that, to retain your customer loyalty, you have to prove that you care about your product. And I think that a beta or active patching, or really listening to the majority of the community in extreme circumstances, and I'll get to that in a minute. But showing me a beta proves that you really care about the quality of the product. You want to iron out as many bugs as you can before the official release, before it's actually given to you as, okay, now you can only play it if you buy it. And we've done our part. It's like a good faith thing. We believe in the quality of our product so much. Here's a beta. Help us iron out the rest of the wrinkles. And we think it's still good enough that you'll still want to buy it, even after the beta. So that's just kind of my take on it. But as far as them listening to the majority of the community on like major issues comes back to Modern Warfare 2 with the one-man army, danger close, noob tube class. I understand they couldn't get rid of specific perks. They just need to close the loophole of infinite explosives. And they even refused to do that. And I still stand. That is a game-breaking issue when some guy can load up in a corner, block down both doors with a claymore, and just sitting there fucking thump, thump nonstop. Like,
well, all they had
that
to
was
do is
game-breaking.
fix it so you couldn't switch to the same class.
Well, I think that was a good learning experience, though, because if you think about it, Call of Duty, I know people are going to get upset with this, but Call of Duty gets supported better than Battlefield now. Like, they get patches on the regular. It's like boom, 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 patch, patch, patch. And I mean, Black Ops set the tone, and I mean, Modern Warfare 3, I mean, as broken as that game was, I mean, it's been patched, what, 50 times it seems like?
Yeah. And they're not waiting to let you download the new patch with the new DLC kind of a thing, too. Like, I don't know why. I guess I get why they want to download everything at once, because you're downloading all the new DLC files and all that stuff, so it's changing things. But it's kind of frustrating when you see these balance changes come up for Battlefield 3, and then if something is glaringly wrong, for the most part, you might have to worry about waiting 3 months until the next DLC for it to be really fixed.
Yeah, I can't stand that, considering that I feel like the patches, like, we experiment with the patch, and sometimes we'll go back right to where we were when it first started, and it's like, why did you patch this?
I got the impression that the patches were so far apart and they timed it with the DLC because of the whole certification process with consoles, but that doesn't really explain, and because it's so expensive, it's like thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it's $40,000 a patch.
Yeah, I don't really understand how that would be any different. Like, I mean, if Call of Duty, granted they have more resources probably than the Battlefield franchise, but if they can be patching on the regular, I don't see why another game wouldn't be able to do that. So I
can understand the mentality behind it, where instead of like, okay, well, we're just going to bombard you with these tiny patches every week or two. Well, why don't we just get it all done in one big, go? So you get one massive patch correcting a bunch of stuff, and we'll spread it out so we're not bombarding you with this. I would rather have the Call of Duty style patching where it's like every week or two. Okay, we see something that's kind of significant, here's a patch. We see another thing that's kind of significant, here's another patch for it. Instead of like, okay, we'll save that. It's all coming up in September, don't worry about it. Oh, there's another issue that we just found out about September 2nd. Don't worry, we'll get to it in December.
Now, there's another
fix
way
it
to
now.
there's another way to do things. I forget what the most recent issue was. It was something in Battlefield where they tweeted out saying that they're going to update it on the server side, and it wasn't going to have to download anything, but they were going to be able to fix it by updating their servers. And I feel like they should. I don't know what that system involves or anything, but if they could somehow integrate weapon damages and stuff like that into the data you can just update by twiddling with some settings over in Sweden, then that would be nice instead of making us wait. And because I feel like what they do, since they end up waiting so long for each patch, is they find a weapon, they decide to make changes to it, and then they throw it up on the board saying, we fixed this. And then they just take the next thing from their box that they need to fix, and then they throw it all into the done pile. And then by the time the patch finally comes out, we got 18 weapons that have been slightly modified. And it seems like it's kind of crazy to digest how all of those individually are going to affect each other. It seems like it would just be better if you could tweak one weapon and see how like the ripple effect works across the whole game, and then tweak something else. And if you're actively tweaking, it would definitely be way better. But I don't know.
I don't know if you guys are. You guys probably aren't aware of this because you play mostly on console, but they basically I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago, they released that game adjuster thing for Battlefield, which essentially removed the blue tint. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like on all the maps, there's like that blue haze that's completely different from like how it looked in the alpha and the trailers and stuff. And DICE has been tweeting out, everyone likes the blue haze, and I'm like, really? That's why hundreds of people downloaded this thing to remove it. And it's like DICE is so out of touch with the community, it kind of like boggles my mind sometimes. And it's like Gustav or whatever his name is tweeted out, he was like, oh, it's part of our artwork, it's what separates us from a modern shooter. And that just, if DICE's idea of art style is add a blue tint to their finished product, I don't really know if that says much for them.
So just, I know it's going to get weird for the stream for a second, but I just want to
get naked?
It's going to get weird in here, people. No, I got a screenshot of this, and it gives you a good example of what we're talking about.
You broke it.
Give it a second.
Well,
it'll come back, and it'll look good.
Oh my god, I would love it if it were like the alpha.
Yeah, I've played it. Like, I downloaded this stuff.
Oh my god!
I tried it out on my alternative account, and it looks really good. The only problem now is they're banning people for it.
Yeah.
Because they
the
don't
reasoning
want you.
behind that?
Okay, well, there's actually two sides to this argument. Because at first it's like, okay, why would you do this? But it removes sun glare, and that's a big issue. Like, that's a huge advantage.
I think
on the flip side, it's
sorry, I don't want to interrupt in the middle of your explanation, but I think the sun glare could be lobbed right in there with the blue tint. Like I can squint, like my soldier should be able to like adjust his eyesight for the like incredible sun glare in this game, because it's kind of ridiculous sometimes. But go ahead, sorry.
Well, what I was gonna say is this little tweaker thing. I think they call it the BF3 tweaker. People actually found out because DICE was so bad at programming. They made a file in there that contains all the values of like recoil and weapon damage. People are able to tweak that now with this program, and so there's people running around with 0 spread on their weapons so that they can just one-shot you instantly from across the map from the hip.
So
that's why they have to ban for it. Because there's been these things called like the FXA injectors or whatever it's called, which basically tried to bring back the color into the game. But this is the first time we actually were able to remove the blue tint, and it looks so much better. But the only problem is now if you use it, you get banned, and I think that's just ridiculous.
That tweaker is essentially like a backdoor into easy hacks, right? That's how they're looking at it.
And it's bad right now. Like, I played Battlefield today, and like people were abusing the crap out of that. In fact, my buddy Sweat actually posted a video of a live session he did, and he's in it. He's like talking about, man, I don't know why I'm dying, and I'm like, I can tell you why you're dying. That dude's got the Battlefield tweaker going, or tweaker.
Now, how do they find out you're using that? Do they have to?
It's undetectable, completely undetectable. If you're using it, the only way that they can ban you for it is if you have modified, I think it's the CAT files, which is where the color is. So that's why you get banned now if you mess with the color files. It's basically, before they didn't care if you modified those files because it mostly like just changed how it looked, but now they're just banning for that period.
That's unfortunate because I think it'd be really nice to go in and take the filter off. Although, like Chris was saying, I think the principle of the matter, like if it were part of the game that the sun glare wasn't there, like it's kind of stupid for it to be so like annoying and in your face.
Yeah.
But if somebody does take the sun glare off, I think that's like an advantage, really. That'd be kind of like a glitch or whatever.
Right.
Not a glitch, an exploit.
I want to see Dice take
I'll
the
keep the sun glare.
Oh.
I'm fine
Yeah.
with sun glare.
Take
Get
the blue
rid of the
out.
blue.
Yeah, that's fine.
Even if they just have that blue tint, that would be a freaking phenomenal increase in just the overall quality.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why they think doing that makes their game look better. Like, I really think like sometimes some of the guys at DICE are clinically insane. It's like, oh, it's always snowy here in Sweden. Why don't we give you a blue snowy tint?
Yeah. Well, anyone who like edits or does Photoshop or draws or something, it's like you just start photoshopping and you just keep photoshopping and you just keep photoshopping, and then they're like, yeah, this, and then you get like tunnel vision and you forget what like you're actually trying to make, and you're like, this looks really cool, and then it's all blue. But I don't know.
Is that like your pillow that you were making in home ec, or whoever's story that was? I don't remember whose story that was. Maybe it was Tony. We kept making the pillow and cutting it until there was like nothing left.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Yes, you've joined my club of nobody knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, raise it.
All right. So
Sorry, I was looking at something else.
that's fine. So
Great.
I forget how we got off or onto this tangent.
We were just talking about overall quality of Battlefield 3 and its staying power, and if Aftermath or Endgame was going to make a difference whatsoever.
Wow, that was like
What a tangent.
25
mouthful.
minutes ago that started.
Well, I mean, we can transition into the next game, Medal of Honor, because that's very, very apparent on everyone's agenda coming up now.
Yeah, I can't wait for the game to come out, but I feel like Medal of Honor is just nestled in there with the other expansions for Battlefield 3. Like, I think all the Battlefield people are looking forward to it, but what about it is going to be able to keep us all playing? It's kind of weird to I know Battlefield is really old, or it's a year old, so we all know everything about it. So do you think just the newness of Medal of Honor is going to keep us there? If it's just like sort of new maps and then a mix between Call of Duty and Battlefield, or is it going to have to be like something absolutely amazing? Is it just something else, or is it got to be something new?
Well, I think it's nice and shiny and distracting, but if it's not, like quality or bringing something unique to the table, I think it's just gonna flop and
Be
not
dead
really
by-
keep people's attention.
Dead by Christmas.
Yeah,
That's what happened with 2010, right? Like, how long did that last for?
I don't know. I never really played that one.
I didn't either. I just
The campaign will probably be great, but nobody really cares about that.
right.
Right. I guess it depends on what kind of hype it gets on YouTube. I think that could actually make or break the game. Like, a lot of people were really psyched on Ghost Recon Future Soldier right before it came out. And then the beta came out, people got to play it, and that was kind
It
of
was
a
bad.
disappointment. Yeah, like, I didn't find anything enjoyable about it. And no one played it. You didn't see anything about it on YouTube. And,
I forgot that I even had that game.
right, it actually kind of sucks that it... Well, it doesn't really suck, but it's funny that the game didn't work out for us in the sense that we just didn't enjoy it because Chris had done a video on it on the beta like the day after it came out. I think it was like the second video he did on it, and it actually caught the attention of the guys over at Ubisoft. Oh God, what is it, the sub developer? Who was the developer of that one under Ubisoft?
It's like
The Red whatever.
Red something.
Red.
Yeah. One of the developers there had actually commented in our video, like, hey, did you guys know, or no, I'm sorry, he tweeted to us. He said, do you guys know that this video is making the rounds at the office? We're like, what? He's like, yeah, we really liked your video, and like it's spreading around our office like crazy. We're like, oh, this could actually be really awesome. But then the game kind of sucked. We're like, oh, well, thanks.
What was the video about?
Let me see if I can find it.
It was beta thoughts, and I had two. One was a live comm where I was talking about how I felt about the game as I was playing, and then in the middle of the game, I like something clicked, and I figured out how to play, and I was like, never mind, this game's the shit. Like, this game's awesome. And then I did a follow-up video sort of talking about my thoughts and different things that I felt like were really good, and then things I wish they would have changed. And apparently they were passing it around the office, but I was catching all kinds of shit in the comments, like telling me I'm a retard and that's how Ghost Recon always has been and stuff like that. It's Ubisoft Red Storm, by the way. That's who.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How long ago did that game come out? Nope, never mind. Found it.
I think it was awkward
It was like
because
April, wasn't it?
yeah,
that
April or
game
May.
came
May.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
because
actually, I'm sorry, April.
we liked it, or I liked it for during the beta, but then I didn't have enough time to like really keep playing the beta, and then I just forgot about it. I sort of lost interest when the game finally came out. I didn't feel like there was very much of a buzz around it. Nobody I knew was going to get it, so I just didn't get it. But
Yeah, I'm a big Ghost Recon fan. I love the old ones. Even when they went to third person, I still liked them. But like I played it, and at first I was like, okay, this feels like Ghost Recon. But then I played it, and I realized that this game was it just didn't do it for me. And considering that I had to wait a month to get it on PC, by that point I was just like, nope, not
Yeah.
waiting.
not
Like
interested.
I played it on Xbox, wasn't interested, and like I went out and I bought Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Conviction, I think.
Oh.
I went out and bought that game so I could play the freaking beta, and I maybe put like 2 hours into the beta.
So speaking of games, does anybody here play Resident Evil before I bring it up? Is anyone a Resident Evil fan?
Yep. I like it.
Did you get Resident Evil 6?
I played the demo.
I've heard a lot of mixed things about it. Apparently it's getting pretty flopped scores on some of the review sites. And I'm all hesitant as to whether or not I want to spend $60 on it.
Well, to be fair, if you want my opinion on it, I didn't read any reviews. I played the demo, and my first thoughts were, this is absolutely boring. Like
Really?
it just didn't do anything for me, because like to me, Resident Evil has to have that feeling of like the ammo. You have to think about consuming
Yeah.
ammo, like having enough herbs and stuff like that. But this is just like, it's just a generic action game.
Right.
And it's kind of a bummer that they did that, honestly.
And that's what I read. The one review that I actually read ended with, it's a game that any true action video game fan should play. It's so far away from what Resident Evil actually is that a lot of people aren't. It's totally replaceable. You could call it something else and have different characters, and it would probably still be just as good of a game. So I don't know if I'm going to actually get
I mean,
that.
honestly, like if you want Resident Evil, you might as well play like 1 or 2, or even 3, because those are just way better than 6. 6 to me feels like a step back from 5 even, and I wasn't a huge fan of 5. I don't like the co-op kind of thing they kind of introduced, but
that you have to have.
it was all right, I guess. I mean, it was a lot better than this. Like the graphics on this just look really weird to me as well. Like I don't know.
They're really shiny. Everything looks wet.
It's just it's like everything feels like you just like it got coated with like ice or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably end up skipping that game, which is kind of sad because after Resident Evil 5, I was like looking for nothing. I couldn't wait for Resident Evil 6, but then they took 3 years for it to come out, and now it's apparently meh, not that good. But
It's kind of a
everyone
bummer
doing?
that it's kind of a bummer that there wasn't anything good said about it because having never played it and you getting me into Resident Evil 5, I was like, okay, actually this game's pretty good, and now I was looking
Yeah,
forward to it finally, and now I hear that it sucks. So I'm like, okay, well,
we could have made
so
up
much
for
for that.
your Resident Evil 5 blunder.
I know I'm a terrible person. What do you want me to tell you?
I felt like Resident Evil 5 was like racist too, the way they
Yeah.
they like drop you.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, you start in Africa, like in like a, I won't call it a city, but like a little village in Africa, and you're shooting like townspeople that are obviously infected, so they need to die. But it brings up some weird like racism thoughts. But then in the middle of the game, you end up on that like desert island or island of that time forgot, and it's all these like tribes people.
Yeah.
In like
Well,
weird
like the way they
masks
like
and
they
stuff.
act like they're like they basically say like they're savages, and I'm like, I don't know. It's just I wasn't a huge fan of the first part of that game, and I don't like it when they get off the zombie track. That's what the problem with 6 was for me too. There were very little zombies outside of like Leon's demo, because there's like 3 different campaigns, right?
Right.
So you
So
can do
everyone-
Leon, you could do that chick, or you can do some other dude. And
I think it's
one of the other
Leon,
dudes.
Chris Redfield, and someone else, Wesker Jr.
Yeah, I think the chick goes with Leon, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
from what I understand. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It was better when it was actually zombies, and it got kind of weird when it started being like weird alien things in your brain. But
Sounds hot.
yeah.
Should we talk about Borderlands 2? The comments are blowing up when people want us to talk about Borderlands 2.
I've actually
Yeah.
been playing it a lot.
Yeah.
Really? Last week you said that you were starting to get burnt out and you wanted to take a bit
I
of a
beat
break.
the game. I beat the game. I took some days off. I beat it, I think, 2 days ago. I finally got everything unlocked, and I played some more with that class, and I started a new character, and I'm going back through it again to get a different perspective. I think that's one of the cool things about it is you don't ever have to play any way, like the same way through. You can change it so many different ways. But
Now, what are you playing for your new class?
Commando.
That's what I'm running with right now, and I'm still only rank. What am I at? I think I'm ranked 24. No, 23. I just picked up a ton of guns for rank 24.
Well, you're
and I
not that
can't wait
far
to try
away,
out.
honestly. Because I beat the game at level 30. I think I was 35. I think you only needed to be like 32. But I was
Really?
overzealous.
Now,
Yeah.
how does it work with... I keep reading people talking about playthrough 1, playthrough 2, and then playthrough 2.5. Do you know anything about that? Because I'm confused.
I know the second one's called Vault Hunter mode. It's more difficult, and you get better loot.
Does it just let you start over, or do you play with the same
Yeah.
character? Or
You can toggle between starting over and like playing your old one where you've got everything like already unlocked. That makes any sense?
Well,
Like it's like
because you would be... Like, if you beat the game at level 32, then you would just pick up where you left off and start
well, you can go
leveling.
do side quests and like the challenge dome, or you can go back to the Vault Hunter mode and like play through the very beginning,
Oh, okay.
which I wasn't really too interested in doing that, honestly.
Playing through the whole thing again?
With the same character, at least.
Oh, right. Yeah. Now, did you do it mostly alone, or did you do co-op? Did you single player?
I did the
or
whole
co-op?
game alone. 'Cause I have no friends.
No, I was playing it alone, and it's kind of nice because it feels so chaotic when you have more than one other person. If you have two or
Yeah,
three,
I can imagine.
3 or 4 people running with you, It's like you want to take your time and like loot, or you want to listen to somebody telling you what the mission's about, but your three partners are running ahead killing everyone, so you feel left out. So it gets totally crazy. So
I don't get left behind.
Well, my problem was I got impatient. I was like, I don't want to wait. And if you get it too far ahead, it's like it's not a challenge when you like. I remember I tried to play with some of my friends, and they joined my game, and they're like level like 11, and here I am like level 25, like beasting on some skags.
Yes, beat them up.
Wait, when they joined your game, does it scale down at that point? Or
No.
They're stuck with your level, right?
Yeah, they got killed instantly, basically.
On a totally... Sorry, I was just going to say, on a totally unrelated note to that conversation we were having before about what DICE patched on server side, it was the AC-130. The changes to like the one AC-130 per MCOM and stuff like that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, I was going to say, I started playing with, we literally, Prone Star and Nick Bunyan and I got up and played it when it released at midnight and played till like 3 or 4 in the morning. Yeah. And then I didn't get a chance to play with them, so I played with some other friends who were at a higher level than me. They were probably only like 5 to 8 levels above me. And it's a hard time because all the baddies in the loot are up at the higher level, so it's kind of lame. So
you can't pick anything up.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like it'd be nice to go by yourself sometimes. But it's a blast, I think, to pick up and just kind of like mindlessly go and shoot things and find the cool guns, and I like it a lot. So people who are asking if it was worth it, I think it is. It's fun for me. And you can replay it with all the modes and stuff. Minecraft skin. I don't know if you guys found that. I didn't.
I've seen it. I've heard of it.
I haven't found it.
I'm not a Minecrafter, so it doesn't intrigue me.
Crafter.
Of course.
I do enjoy the game. 2 issues I have with it. One, I can never fucking remember to throw down my auto turret. As a commando, I am probably the worst commando. Like, we'll get through a fight.
That's their only job.
I know, it's bad, and I said it to Chris, like, every time we've sat down to play, like, we'll run into this one spot, and, like, 30 guys will pop up, and we'll get through, like, 20, 25, and be like, oh, I never threw down my turret.
Yeah, I'll be like, I'm like playing as the assassin, like melee attacking everyone. I'm all invisible, like cutting through people, and I'll cut down the last guy in turn, and I'll see his turret like flying through the air to land. Like he waited till the very last guy. It's like pops up and it's just like looking around now. I'm like, way to go, dude.
I'm a terrible player. But aside from that, like, I love it. But I wish I could get something out of it too. Like, I wish there was a way we could post it. And I like what Chris is doing. He came up with the series of the like featuring all the different weapons and stuff. I have no idea how I can go ahead and present this game. Like, someone said, Chris said it, and then a couple other people suggested that maybe I just go through and talk about my character, like how I'm using it, and what way am I trying to upgrade him and stuff, and then kind of like go through that whole skill set tree. That's not a bad idea, but
yeah, it was pretty popular. Like, I enjoy doing Battlefield. Enjoy doing Borderlands videos because it's something different.
Well, see, now I can't do that video. I guarantee you that's where all the ideas came from too. That everyone that saw your videos, they're like, "Oh, Snoop."
No, it wasn't like all I did was like I showed my loadout and like how I was using it. I mean, it wasn't like a coined.
Copyright 2012.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's other people out there who are thinking about their skill tree builds.
Listen, I'm gonna just watch your video and copy it. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do it the same way. Wait until he makes his commando video and then do it.
Right.
Can you do
I tricked
that,
you. I'm
please?
doing Siren first.
Oh,
Siren's awesome. I love that phase lock. I'm like, yeah, don't worry, guys. Let me just pick up this huge monster that I'm having a problem with and just hold him in the air for a while.
Yeah, right.
Such a badass.
Right as my invisibility was gonna like run out, and I was gonna shoot somebody, and then they get lifted in the air, and I miss my shot, and I'm like, "Fuck you, Siren."
You're welcome.
It's too bad you can't play videos, or you probably could actually on the stream because somebody just released the injector to remove the blue tint from the car can maps because that was something they couldn't do, and it looks pretty amazing.
Okay.
I'll put the link in the chat You know what? I will put it in the video description for everyone. You guys are gonna have to refresh your page to be able to look at it, though.
I can play it. It just
It's
might
pretty. It's pretty badass. I'm actually kind of surprised how good it looks. I know that's completely like out of left field, but
No, no. Let's see how this works, okay? Everyone, bear with me again.
I mean, Wake Island actually looks like Wake Island now. It's just kind of shocking.
Actually, you know
See,
what? Hang on.
yeah, that's weird. Actually, I'm looking at it without 720, but
I'll get
Doesn't it just look so?
it does look a little bit bleached out. But at the
Yeah, I
same
was gonna
time,
say
it still looks really good. Like, it is very realistic. It almost looks like
Some of the bright colors just stand out too much, maybe.
yeah, and like
Like
the
the
dull
orange.
colors, like the tannish colors, are a little too dull.
Got to go.
It looks like
Is
one
there
of our
music
raw
on it?
video files.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Should I
I
not
think
play it
so,
with the
yeah.
sound?
That's up to you.
yeah. I wouldn't play it with the sound. It's some like doctor office dentist music.
All right, well, I muted it.
Seriously. Doesn't mean
That
it's
does
not
look
what it does.
phenomenal. That looks so much better without
It
the blue
does.
tint.
Yeah, you can. This is by
I-
Vitality Games. I don't know if they're the one that let us know about it. Or
They
did
sent it to me. Somebody sent it to me.
Okay.
So
But you guys can see the. Wow, yeah, that. It kind of looks like it scales back the graphics a little bit. Like it looks a little bit
Yeah.
more basic.
The textures are a little.
But it seems like, see, the one problem I have is Battlefield 3 is a game I can't play on high settings because, like, the blue filters and all the just random stuff in the environments makes it so hard to pick people out. And,
Yeah.
like, this, I'm looking at this, I'm like, wow, this would be really easy to pick up on people. Like, people always ask me, they're like, why do you have a 680 and play on low? I'm like, well, that's Battlefield. That's the only game I play on low.
I feel like Battlefield itself is really intensive on like your whole computer while you're playing it anyway. At least in my experience, I don't know if you have those little meters on your desktop that tells you what your CPUs are doing, like while you're playing games and rendering stuff. But my PC
Well, that's
didn't like.
Yeah, it's because Battlefield was poorly optimized. It's like one of the worst optimized games I think I've played. Like, it seems like it just massively consumes CPU, and it's so hard to stream Battlefield. That's why I had to get that Live Gamer HD card, because it was so much easier to stream with that as opposed to trying to just stream it raw because it uses so much CPU.
Now, do you have only one monitor?
Technically, right now I have one monitor. I mean, I have
Because
two inherently, but like my good monitor blew up while I was playing. Like it literally like popped, and so I'm still waiting to replace it.
because I have two monitors and I have that card you were talking about, the Live Gamer HD, and I was having all kinds of problems getting it to work.
Yeah, that's one of the weaknesses of it.
Yeah, and even like if you wanted to do a live comm, it would be like a pain in the ass to like get. Did you have trouble like setting up your audio and stuff?
No.
Like getting it to play through your headsets?
Oh,
Or
you had to plug it into the actual card.
If you have, so you need a 3.5 millimeter jack, right?
Yeah, so if you have a headset, you have to plug it directly into the actual thing. But we're probably boring everybody with this.
All right. Well, I hope everyone got a good look at what that blue filter looks like. I want to turn it off now.
I do agree. It does look.
Oh,
It
okay.
does look kind of cartoonish. I know a couple of people have pointed that out, but I think that since this is like the beginning of like the blue tint removal, I think people are going to get to the point where they've got the colors down because the injector actually adds color to it. So once they kind of get the right balance, I think it'll look awesome.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I definitely would prefer it without the blue tint. I think.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, if you go in the video and pause it at 43 seconds, there's actually a good spot where he's got the sun kind of in his eyes over the orange container.
Oh, I just saw it
Play it from like 42 and get ready to pause.
right there. That's not that
Yeah.
bad.
There you go. Yeah, see, so Jake, you were saying that by removing the blue tint, that I don't know. Like, see, that sun glare looks realistic to me. Whatever they're doing right now is fucking insane.
Well, because
Yeah.
what the sun glare is fine. The big difference is the lens flares that come from it in the regular game. Like, there's all these like sunspots all over your goggles.
Yeah, like you're wearing like it's like you're almost like taking a camera and looking at the sun and stuff like a telescope.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was saying. Like, don't lens flares really only happen with lenses? Like, it doesn't happen with the human eye, does it?
Yeah.
Dice's sun
No,
is
that's a
all
good point.
powerful.
They're like,
It will
yeah,
consume everything.
They might even just have the blue filter to kind of
polish
like
it.
set it apart. Not polish it, because
okay.
obviously it's not doing shit.
Well, that's
They're-
that's why it's there. According to the Dice Bros, they were like the reason why we put the blue tint it was to set it apart from other shooters.
See, even without the blue tint, it definitely sets it
being
apart.
beautiful
Like,
sets it apart. Yeah.
right. I do agree. It does. With whoever had said it in the chat and stuff, it does look kind of cartoonish. So I don't know, man. Like, I think a compromise. Like, that's what I was trying to get at earlier. When you look at your raw capture files from Jake, I don't know. Have you used it in PVR for when you're recording?
Mm-hmm.
So you know how the game looks like as a raw file, and you usually need to kind of add some color correction and balance to it. That's what this looks like right now. It looks like it just needs a touch of reality to the color, if you will, where some, like I said, it looks a little bleached out here and there, and there's not a perfect balance between the colors. Just a light touching, maybe only like 25% of the blue tint that they have in there now would make it look ideal. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, still, I would take that over what we have right now any day.
I would
Like,
say, yeah, this would be fantastic.
you can see so much more detail. I think that's what I don't like about that blue tint. To me, it feels like you lose a lot of detail in what you get to see.
So you guys gonna shit a brick if Battlefield 4 has a blue tint?
I'll shoot a brick if Medal of Honor has a blue tint.
What if they have like a red tint or something?
Yeah.
Something that's gonna.
Well, I mean, it was getting out of hand as it was, as far as like dust and stuff that they had in games. It was like it's almost like they were going out of their way to create like these ambient environments to make it seem quote unquote more realistic, but at the same time they were just making it really hard to see anything. And it seems like instead of putting dust and like debris everywhere, they added a blue tint. So they could do anything with any of these games coming up. It could be something stupid in the name of realism, which is annoying as hell.
You should see Death Valley without the blue tint.
Oh, dude, that must be insanely different.
It doesn't even look like it's like night. I mean, it looks really cool, but it's like low light. It's not really night.
Oh, this guy has other videos. He's got a whole Operation Metro video. I hope you guys should go check out Vitality Games on YouTube. I don't know if he's in the chat or if he sent this video in, but these are his videos that we're showing right now. I hope he doesn't mind. But you should check him out because he's doing work for the people here.
Until we all get banned.
Yeah, he'll claim this on his copyright or something like that.
Yeah, I think it works better on different maps. Like, I think Metro looks freaking amazing.
Well, look at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, when the stream comes up, you'll see inside is unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Going back to
Oh, sorry if the
sorry.
sound is playing.
that's what I wanted to say about Jesus Christ, what was the map we were just talking about removing the blue tint on Armored Kill?
Death Valley.
Thank you. Ever since what was it, the June patch that gave us the option to turn on or off color
Anti-aliasing.
yeah, no, the colorblind. Thank you.
Oh.
Dude, I'm so tired. I'm really struggling to remember keep track of my train of thought. But they gave us the option to turn the colorblind mode on or off, and I turned it on because I was like, oh, okay, that's actually kind of cool. It really changes up the different. It gives a little bit more contrast between all the colors, and I liked it. It made it easier to identify, friendly from foe. And then when I got to that map, I just forgot the name of it again. But I had to turn it off because it was like purple. It wasn't even like, it's got a really heavy blue look to it anyway, but it was like a deep purple with it on. I was like, this I can't do this. I can't see a damn thing.
I got a video going on right now, playing from to Fission, where he's doing the before and after. I don't know exactly what they're using to remove the color, but it's giving you an idea of how blue, Jesus Christ, how blue it is. It is out of control.
Yeah, it's
Somebody in the chat.
it's just the injector is the same. The tweaker thing is what they're using. Essentially, what the tweaker does is you can change anything. Like
Oh,
you can
so
change
they just find good settings for it and then turn it on.
yeah.
kind of a
This
thing.
fusion one, the fission or whatever. I saw this one. This is the one I was talking about on Death Valley. I mean, it looks insanely different.
Yeah. There's not a sun up in Death Valley, is there? Like, there's no sun in the sky? Because that would be
No,
hilarious if
I
there
mean
was.
it's got a giant moon in the sky.
Oh, okay, I was just gonna say, like, it'd be funny if it was daytime, but they just layered
It'd
on.
be funny if you looked at the moon and it like blinded you,
Yeah, that's a sun flare.
like the moon from Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the face on it.
Just keeps getting closer.
That'd be funny.
Don't mind me just watching the video. That's.
I think it looks.
a
I
difference.
think Death Valley actually does look better with the blue tint, personally.
It's
Just because
just
it
like-
is the night.
I don't know. Like, they just cut away. He's in the helicopter right now, and it looks really nice when it's like green and brown. But if I could choose to turn it off, I definitely would.
Yep, without a doubt. Yeah, oh man, why'd you show this to me? You ruined the game even more.
Hey, at least you guys have like servers for the game.
This is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, servers that you don't know what the rules are until you get in. Like,
Right.
Like, they changed the
At least you guys have rules. On PC, there are no rules.
Yeah.
No shotguns, no SMGs, no
No, but
automatic pistols,
they
no
changed-
machine pistols.
people always change the in-game message that pops up right when you join. That's what they update, but they never update the description in the server browser. So it always says something
Let's see.
different.
They have to manually enforce rules, correct?
Yeah. You need a
Okay,
mod
so,
in
like-
there to do it.
Because like we have scripts where if like you do one thing wrong, it's like boom, you're out. It's just instant. Next thing
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
you're like looking at Battlelog, like what?
And no official servers.
But you get a nice message telling you what it was, right? Even if it's something
Sometimes you
insane.
get like rude messages like you sucked or something.
Yeah, but you have the chance of getting those brag messages. Like, I've seen people tweet out saying like 10 kills in 1 minute is impossible, but they have like it was like all legit or something like that. I don't know. That seems like it might be worth it every so often.
I'm pretty
You
sure
get
one
kicked-
time my reason was girl. Like, all right.
Got me there. That's funny.
You get kicked for bad language too quite often.
In
Yeah.
the
Kicked all the time.
in the written chat, or like if your
Yeah,
mic is
like if you like, I don't really understand it. I mean, I guess it's to protect people from getting verbally abused. They just outlaw it, but like you're playing a mature game where like people are like cussing in the game and they're like banning you if you say, oh, like, you know, if you say anything, like you can't say any sort of curse word.
on. Yeah, that's kind of silly. That's taking the power a little too far, unless it's like I don't know, an elementary school server or something like that. But you are playing a mature game, so I don't exactly see that making sense.
Kidsgaming.com.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've been going a little over an hour now. I think we might call it quit. The beta starts on Friday, right? Everyone plan on playing on Xbox a little bit.
Oh
I
yeah,
hope so.
I actually
We'll have.
I happen to have that day off because again, that's when my mom and my grandmother are coming into town. So I've got all morning. They're not going to be in town until later in the day than I originally thought. So it actually works for me. That means I'll be playing
Yeah.
all fucking morning.
And now you can feel the pain of everyone else in the world who has weekdays off, and they wait around for these damn things to be available to download.
But wait, where are you going to be, or how mad are you going to be if they don't release it till like 5 p.m.?
That's what I'm saying.
Probably pretty mad.
As mad
Because
as
I'm
me
guessing-
when I
Yeah.
took Armored Kill off.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
I was so mad. 7 p.m. Cool. Glad I
Here
took
you-
the day off from work.
Here you go, guys.
Sorry, I had to jump in with that.
That's what's going to happen, though. Like, I don't know when if you got to get it from the Xbox store, when they update the store, if they do it at the same time every day or once a week or something like that. But that's what PlayStation always has to wait for, is for the store to refresh. So it might not be as wonderful as you're hoping. But come next week, hopefully we'll have plenty of beta talk to go over some experiences and what we think of the beginnings of Medal of Honor.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes.
So does anyone have anything they want to announce or anything like that before we call it quits?
Nope.
Okay.
Not pregnant.
I wasn't speaking for everyone. Wait, what?
Nothing. I said not.
You got anything on your mind?
I'm not frustrated at all.
All right. Well,
Anyway.
anyway, guys, you can find links to everyone's channel in the description. I appreciate everyone who tuned in for the live stream, and hopefully you can find us here every week on Tuesday at 9 p.m. So for everybody here, we thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Later, guys.
Peace.